and girls, ladies and gents, this is the long overweighted, This is the long overdue review of the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume. I have had this costume for well over a year, and the previous Zentaizone Spider-Man review is like one of the most watched videos on my channel, if not the most watched video on my channel. I will leave a link where you can buy the suit in the description below, and I'll go through all the features I got and let you know what I think about it. Pro tip, I recommend wearing like a compression shirt and compression shorts to sort of lower the noticeability of your spectacular spider bulge, if you will. So yeah, pro tip, do that. Always wear compression, everything, all the time. Another tip is, with this Ben Reilly suit, or suits like it, you'll probably have web shooters covering the zippers if you have wrist zips. But a good trick is to tuck the zipper in and then sort of push the zipper close. That way you don't have like that sort of dangly piece. It's a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in photos. My tripod is like a table, like a small end table in a comic box right now. So sorry about the lack of competent videography. I'm not usually having to shoot a whole vertical body shot, and I'm not willing to flip the camera that way. Nor am I willing to use the wide angle lens because it's digital, and so as such, it kind of screws up the quality of the image. I want you guys to have at least a somewhat decent image. You might notice the quality dropped ever so slightly from the last shot as well, and that's because I'm shooting with a camera with a viewfinder in it, so unfortunately it's just not quite as good as the other camera. Nonetheless, here I am in my Scarlet Spiderman, that is to say Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume. I actually have both Clone Saga omnibuses here. I've just yet to achieve the Ben Reilly ones. So with this one, I do recommend exterior web shooters. I do have some. I'll throw a picture up there, but they're not with me at the present moment. I didn't care to find them, so right now this is what you're getting. I'll put the mask on in a second so you can see what that looks like without a shell. But I wanted to show you this. So my neckline is, my neck is sort of tucked in. I don't know if you can tell that. I think it looks cleaner when it's tucked. Sorry about the 5 o'clock shadow. I didn't shave today. It is better tucked in, I feel, than when it's up, because you can kind of see the stitchy, less refined edge of the neck, and also makes it a little bit more realistic. You can totally wear this, by the way, under a shirt. This costume, I wear this. I'll put the sleeves inside of the sleeves of my shirt, and I will wear this costume like underneath my clothes occasionally. And as I'll demonstrate here, you can totally pull that off with the idea of neck rolling. So as you can see there, like that example, you roll the neck in, you can totally go about your day with the costume on, and nobody will be able to tell that you are in fact wearing a costume, so long as you have zips on the ankles and the gloves. So this print is beautiful, by the way. I forget who does it, but it'll be up on the screen. I think it might be Gunhead. Either way, it's right there. But yeah, the spider looks great. I think the black blends into the blue in a very realistic manner. I think the transition is really good. It's not all jarring. I have seen some very jarring ones, but this is not one of them. The shoulders look fantastic. The way the spider transitions into the back spider. Fantastic, in my opinion. It's really good. The only criticism I have is that the gloves, the fingers on the gloves don't necessarily go all the way as they should. That's fairly minor, though. You're not really going to be viewing the user's fingers unless you're at a very specific angle, or at least that portion of the fingers. So I'm going to throw the mask on. I'll be right with you. So here we are. Sometimes you have to play around with the mask and the lenses to get it set on your face just right without a shell. I think the lenses are pretty great. I think the mask feels really comfortable on your face. The lenses are ever so slightly close together in this version, or this particular copy of the suit. But you can fix that with like a half shell here, or just, just putting the lenses ever so slightly further away. But I don't think it affects the overall aesthetic of the suit to any meaningful capacity. I can't really see how I look in the viewfinder. The visibility in this lens, this perforated lens, is fantastic, but I'm using a small viewfinder, so I can't see the very, very fine details like that. This is perfectly usable for walking around a convention or going about your day. I could even read in this if I wanted to, if the book was in my hand. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to do any sort of cinematography with these on, for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's more or less the suit. I love it. So, the finer details. What I have done here is, in the last costume I got the mask such that you had to zip it over for a tighter fit, and that would probably work better with these lenses, but I wanted a more authentic sort of Peter Parker mask situation, so I could pull the mask on and off. Easy as that, like Peter Parker does in the comics or movies, which you can't do with the zip mask because it's so attuned to your skeleton that you can't really do that sort of thing. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, flawless 1 second to take the mask on and off. As far as the zippers go, I do have unfortunately, these corners will puff out because this is the sort of, not apex, but the junction of the two directional zips. And so these will pop out sometimes, so you're gonna have to push those in occasionally if you don't want to make it look like you've got like some sort of love handle, because from some angles the sort of popping of that will cause that effect. I have a zip on the back of the neck to make it a nice tight fit around my neck. I like to have it close to the neck. It looks more authentic, and it holds your mask in place far better than say the suit I have over here, the Ultimate Spider-Man suit. By the way, this costume, I have the first appearance of this, and I have the first appearance of the Scarlet Spider costume. This was designed by Mark Bagley, who's personally my favorite comic book artist. Another thing I got shoes with soles. These are called Kung Fu shoes. I think they're another $20 on top of the suit, but they're totally worth it. Trust me, it's way better than the vast majority of people could ever do on their own. Having it factory built into the costume is the way to go. Trust me, it's worth every penny, and they're incredibly comfortable. I hear a lot of people say that you can't wear them around. I totally disagree. I'm very picky about shoes, and I find these to be fantastic. You can even put insoles in them if you really want to, if you're at a convention, for instance, for a long period of time. But I find the Kung Fu shoes to be exceptionally comfy, and the sort of form they give to your foot is really excellent as well. It makes it look a lot more authentic. It's sort of like Peter Parker would have built into a suit, or Ben Reilly, as the case may be. Don't get the soles. The soles are adequate, but they're just not anything compared to the actual shoes. Spend the extra money, get the shoes built in, not the soles. Trust me on this one. That said, I do have wrist zips. I tuck the zipper in, so it takes a second to pick out here. There we go. But yeah, it's as easy as that with the wrist zips. Just pull each finger out. And then, shebang shebang, Robert Patterson is your uncle. I wonder if anybody ever calls him Bob. And there you go. Easy as that. And you can tuck it up and put it in the sleeve of your regular wear, or if you're eating or using a phone, if you're having issues. In most cases, if the glove is tight, these gloves are perfectly touchscreen capable. But nonetheless, you're eating, you're touching stuff, you don't want to get grime and mess on your gloves. So the optimal thing to do would be to have zips on the wrist, in my opinion. I made the mistake last time of not getting zips in my wrist, and the fingers are kind of worn on some of them. Particularly the thumb is kind of worn on my old costume, my sort of more classic design. I can't attest to the webbing. I've never gotten puff painted webbing from Zentaizone. In fact, it's a fairly recent feature as far as I'm concerned. I think it's maybe 2 years old at most. And I haven't seen any reviews with that done, so I can't really say for sure. One thing I can say is always get a mask that has the option for lenses. Don't get the cloth lenses, with the possible exception of the Ultimate Spider-Man suit, because they're sort of leatherized around the corners and it looks like a proper mask. Whereas it looks like something Peter Parker might wear, whereas with the other ones it's sort of like crappy print lenses, which are just awful and disgusting, and don't get those, trust me. Anyway, I have been Ethan Ainsworth, your resident Spider-Man for the evening, and I will catch you later, true believers. Now I go through the painstaking process of taking this thing off again.